Welcome viewers to Diabetes Hope channel, the channel where we educate you, motivate you, and encourage you to control your diabetes and probably reverse it. This is the place where you find hope. I am your co-host, Nyambura Madhenge, and our host is
Wanjiko Dongo.
Welcome, Wanjiko Dongo.
Thank you so much, Sarah. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great and nice to see you.
Me too.
Yes.
So, Mwalimu, what do you have for us today?
Dear viewers, today we need to respond to some of the concerns that our viewers have had.
Yes.
Some of them have said that they are having a lot of issues when they eat the raw greens.
Okay, yes, I saw that.
Yes, they say that it's hurting their stomach. Some are experiencing a lot of gas. And this can be a problem.
Yes, it can.
I have realized that it is important for us to be able to address this issue.
Okay.
So that they can know what it is they can do.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So why do people get bloated, Mwalimu?
There are various reasons as to why people get bloated when they eat the raw food.
Okay.
And one of them is because the vegetables have a lot of fiber. And the individual may not be having the digestive juices.
Okay.
Or they may not be having enough bacteria that help them to digest the food.
Okay.
And this is what we call the good bacteria.
Okay.
And for this reason, we need to help them know what it is they can eat that is going to ease the gas and also ease the bloating.
So, Mwalimu, what can one do to avoid bloating?
There are a number of things that one can do.
Okay.
One, the individual can start by drinking water with lemon in the morning.
Okay.
And that prepares the stomach to accommodate food.
Okay.
And to bring about those juices that are able to digest food. We can also suggest that this individual does not start with the smoothies and the salads because those are the ones that are going to have a lot of fiber. So what the individual can do is they can start with juicing.
Okay.
Meaning they are going to use a juicer.
Okay.
And when we use the juicer, it removes the fibers.
Okay.
So that in itself does help.
Okay.
We can also start juicing the vegetables that are not very strong. For example, we can start with the carrots. We can start with spinach.
Okay.
We can start with cucumber before we get to the kale or to the sukuma.
Okay.
Because the sukuma is the one that is a lot more tough.
Okay.
And we can also do a good mixture. For example, we can mix the cucumber with the spinach. Because cucumber is easier to digest.
Okay.
We can mix the carrot with the spinach because the carrot is easier to digest.
Okay.
So by doing those combinations, then the person may not find it so difficult.
Okay. And in these juices, would you recommend that they still add, because in the smoothies, we usually add apple cider vinegar. So do you also do the same with the juices?
Yes.
Okay.
With the juices, we can also add the apple cider vinegar because this is a fermented product. So it is also going to promote the digestive systems and it is going to help in the digestion of the vegetables. Okay. Yes. So after the individual has done juicing for some time, maybe for a week or two, they can then try the smoothies. Okay. And the smoothies is where we use the breader. Okay. And within the smoothies, we make sure we add olive oil and we also add apple cider vinegar. Okay. So by adding these two, they are going also to help in the improvement of the digestion. And we can do that for a period of time. Maybe we can go for a period of a month. Okay. 2 weeks we are juicing. The other 2 weeks we have added the smoothies. And then after this is when now we can try and bring in the salads. And we hope that by that time, the individual will have gotten it easier and easier to digest the food. Okay. But it is not always a guarantee because it depends on how poor their digestive system is. So if the individual's digestive system is still very poor, it then becomes important for us to increase what we call the good bacteria. Yes.
Okay. So you've mentioned good bacteria. What are good bacteria? Really? Me, I thought bacteria is just bacteria.
No, Sarah. The way the world is created, it is always created with good and bad.
Okay.
And somehow the good and the bad have to coexist.
Okay.
And within our body systems, we have a lot of bacteria.
Okay.
But we have two types of bacteria. There is the good bacteria and the bad bacteria.
Okay.
When the bad bacteria is a lot, it promotes diseases. But when the good bacteria is a lot, it creates a balance. And the person is not sick.
Okay.
So when it comes to digesting food, we use bacteria to digest the food. And it is the good bacteria that are going to help us to do this. So what we need to do is to increase those good bacteria so that they can help us in the digestion of the food. And to be able to increase that good bacteria, what we need to do is to ferment things. You know, when we ferment something, for example, we ferment a fruit or we ferment a vegetable, we are trying to promote some bacteria.
Fermenting. I only know fermenting things like porridge. My grandmother used to ferment porridge.
Yes.
And I know there's some, these traditional beers that are fermented.
Yes. And those traditional beers, in as much as we really put them over and imagine they are not good, in the way they were done originally by our grandparents, they were very, very healthy because they promoted the good bacteria. Even that wuji you are talking about is also good. Now, the only limitation is that the people currently, they ferment the wuji and then they cook it. So once you cook it, you kill the good bacteria because bacteria are very, very sensitive to heat. The only area I have seen them not cooking is in areas like Meru. I have seen them make that wuji. They just subject it to heat, but not 100 degrees. And therefore, that wuji still has those bacteria. And those bacteria are very, very important for digestion. Yes.
So why should we ferment the fruits and the vegetables?
Now, fermenting is very easy. That is why we want to use fermentation.
Okay.
It is true you can go for pharmaceutical drugs to give you the bacteria. We call them probiotics.
Okay.
So you can go to a chemist and buy a probiotic. Okay. But how do you know what you are buying? How do you know what strains you are buying? Okay. How do you know how many even the strains of the good bacteria you are buying? But when we make these fermentations at home, we are able to have a very wide variety of those bacteria. Okay. And fermenting is very, very simple. Okay. It is very, very easy. It is very, very inexpensive. Really? That is why we need to do it at home. At the same time, when we ferment things like cabbages, we are able to preserve the nutrients within the cabbage. So we are not only getting the probiotics, but we are also getting the nutrients that are within those vegetables. We are getting a lot of flavors within those vegetables. Okay. And because we do not use heat, we also get a lot of vitamins and minerals and life enzymes. Okay. And these ones are very, very important because they promote growth. So what we find is that in fermented vegetables, we are able to increase the vitamin B and the vitamin C within those vegetables through the process of fermentation. Okay. And these vegetables that are fermented, they are very, very easy to digest and they are very good in supporting the immune system. Okay. So the kind of fermenting we do, we call it lacto-fermentation. And lacto-fermentation simply means fermentation without air. All we use is just the ingredients that we want to ferment. We add salt, we remove air. And it becomes very, very easy as our viewers are going to see.
And do we add water?
There are times we add water, there are times we do not add water. And today's fermentation, I don't want us to add water. And our viewers, you see that it is very, very easy to do.
So today we are actually fermenting something.
Yes, today
Good.
we are going to ferment cabbages.
Okay.
And we are going to do a lacto-fermentation.
Okay.
And this is the fermentation that allows lactic acid forming bacteria to take over from any other bacteria that may be within that cabbage.
Okay.
So even if there are other bacteria that are within the cabbage, the lactobacillus bacteria takes over permanently in that particular fermentation.
Okay.
And what it does, it actually frees the sugars within the cabbage, and therefore when we are eating this cabbage, it also has no sugars, and therefore it does not raise our sugars.
Okay.
And that is why lacto-fermentation is so important.
So we just put the cabbage and we leave it?
No. Sarah, we are going to demonstrate how this is done, and we are going to need a number of ingredients.
Okay.
What we are going to need is we will need one cabbage, because that is what we are fermenting. Number two, we are going to use salt, and we want to use a mineral-rich salt. For example, what we call the pink salt or the Himalaya salt. Okay. And then we are going to need something, a kind of a weight, because we need to press the vegetables down and to remove all the air. So we are going to need a weight, and that weight can be a bottle filled with water, or it can be a stone. We are going to show our viewers. Okay. And then after that, the container we are going to use, we are going to need a covering on top of that particular container. Okay. And once we cover, we are able to ensure that there is no dust that enters. We are able also to ensure that there are no flies. You know those flies that take flying around? Yes. Yeah, so we are able to make sure that they do not get into our fermentation. And therefore, we can either put a lid or we can put a cloth to ensure that nothing enters into that fermentation. Because fermentations is really right by fries and those other small things that are always in the kitchen, because they are good things. Even them, they know that this fermentation is very healthy food for them. Yes. Okay.
What is the procedure?
So viewers, what we do is we pick a cabbage as we are going to demonstrate, and then we cut that cabbage into very, very thin pieces. Okay. Then after that, we are going to add salt into that cabbage, and then we are going to massage the cabbage until it produces some juice, or what we call a brine. Okay. And once we get enough brine to cover the cabbage, at that time we are ready. All we need is to now get a container, put in all that cabbage with the brine, and then we cover it, we put a weight on top of it, and then we close it, and then after that, just wait for 5 to 7 days. And lo and behold, we shall be having a very, very good fermentation.
And that is what we're going to show our viewers today.
Yes, that's exactly what we are going to show our viewers today. Okay. With the hope that they are not only going to watch, but they are also going to try fermenting this. Okay. It is going to be very, very good for Christmas. Why? Because we need to celebrate Christmas.
Yes, we
and
do.
For us that have issues with blood sugars, one of the ways we celebrate Christmas is we are likely to eat a lot of meat.
True.
And we know, just like raw vegetables, meat is also difficult to digest. Yes. But when we eat the meat with these fermented vegetables, it becomes a lot easier to digest.
Wow.
When we eat the raw vegetables with these fermented vegetables, it also becomes easy to digest. But even if we eat the fermented vegetables alone, without anything else, those bacteria increase. And when they increase, when we eat anything else, it becomes very, very easy to digest that item.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, because we are going to make a lot of cabbage, so after the 7 days, do you eat it all on the same day, or how do you preserve it after that?
What we are going to do, first of all, is that we are going to make the cabbage for our viewers. And because we release our videos after every 7 days, So we are going to make the fermentation today, and then in our next video we are going to open up that fermentation, so that we can be able to show our viewers a good fermentation, how it should look like. Because we must grow the right bacteria. And when we grow the right bacteria, we should see no mold in that particular vegetable. And then I think in that episode, after they have seen, then we can be able to talk. How do we preserve these fermented vegetables?
Yes. That's fine. Yeah. Good. So, dear viewers, remember, in the next episode, we are going to remove the cabbage and taste it. I wonder how it's going to taste. So, let's wait and see.
It's usually very nice, viewers. It's only that it's sour. So we have to appreciate those tastes. And for us that have blood sugar issues, we would rather go into the sour than into the sweet. That is what works better for us. Yes. So, dear viewers, give us 2 minutes. We go and bring the ingredients so that we can be able to demonstrate how to do fermentation of cabbages.
Dear viewers, we are back with the ingredients, and the first one is?
So we have cabbage. This is just ordinary cabbage that we have grated into very, very thin pieces. And then we also have the outer layers of a cabbage. So this will be important.
Mwalimu, wait. Did we grate or we cut?
We cut into very, very small pieces.
And they are very, very small, viewers.
Very tiny small pieces.
And then
we have chives. If you don't have chives, you can substitute it for spring onions. And then we have the Himalayan salt or the pink salt. And this is the one we are going to use in the cabbage. Then we have a container, the one we are going to use to put the cabbages.
Viewers.
And then we have something else that is very important. These are weights. Something heavy that can press the cabbages down. And what I did is that I went to a river and looked for these stones because I know they are safe when they come from the river. And every time I am using them, I have to boil them first to ensure that they have no germs. So these ones have already been boiled.
Yes, they're even kind of warm.
Yeah. So viewers, what we are going to do is to add salt. How much salt do we add? Just add salt to taste. The salt that when you bite it, you feel that that is just good. A tablespoon.
Yeah, a tablespoon.
A tablespoon, yes.
Let's see.
So what we are going to do, dear viewers, I've already cleaned my hands with water with white vinegar. So my hands are clean. So I'm going to get to the rubber. And that is to try and squeeze the cabbage with this particular salt. Make sure I break the wall of the cabbage until I get a lot of liquid from the cabbage. Because this is the liquid that is going to help me to pack this cabbage. So you need to take time to get a lot of liquid. This will take you about maybe 10 to 15 minutes.
Mwalimu, you're kind of massaging it and kneading it at the same time.
Yes, you massage
it. The way we do with chapati. When we're making chapati.
Exactly. You massage it, you knead it until you get water. Yes.
Good.
Dear viewers, I think I'm done. If you can see, I have a lot of brine, or can I call it juice? This is important because it's the one we are going to use in the packing. And it is the one that is going to be on top of all these vegetables, so that the vegetables are going to be at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is to add the chives, and then I'll mix them together, and then I'll come back and show you how to pack. Yeah. No, dear viewers, I am now through. The cabbage and the chives are already well mixed. So what I'm going to do is to now pack it in the container. And what we do is that once you put the cabbage, as I am doing, you then have to press it down. So press it down completely so that you eliminate every air that is in the bottom of that jug.
Okay.
So you keep on putting and pressing, you put and press until only the liquid is on top of the jug.
Okay. And Mwalimu, this is so little. Will it be enough?
Yeah, it looks retro because of all the massaging that we have done. As you saw, we started with a full dish.
Yes.
But because of the massaging, it becomes retro. Okay. So if you want a lot, then you have to do a lot of cabbages.
Okay.
Yeah, because like this one may need, that was one cabbage, this one may need 3 or 4 cabbages.
Okay.
So if we can lift up and show our viewers, you can see when I press, there is a lot of liquid.
Yes.
And that is what we want.
So
you just press and press and press to ensure that there are no air spaces and the liquid is the one that is on top.
Okay.
So once you do that, it's now time to cover it, and we use the outer leaves of the cabbage. You cut the hard core.
Okay.
And then you cover. You just fold it nicely like this, and you cover that cabbage.
Okay. So why are we cutting the hard part?
Because it's difficult to press the hard part.
Ah, okay.
So you just want to press the...
So the water needs to come up on top of these leaves?
Yes, the water needs to come up on top of the leaves.
Okay.
And the vegetables should be down. They should not be on top of the leaves.
Okay.
And that needs to happen for 2 days. No vegetables should get on top of the leaves, only the water. Okay. So that some fermentation will have started. Okay. Because remember, what we are doing is a lacto-fermentation, a fermentation without air. Yeah. So no cabbage should be on top of the water. Okay. They all should be submerged. And if you did this and you don't get enough liquid, you may need to add water. Salty water. Okay. So that you get enough water. Okay. But as you can see for us, you can see there is enough water or enough brine. That is the right word.
Okay. And brine. Another quick question.
Yes.
If after fermentation, you can eat this top cabbage, the one you used to cover?
Because it is good, you can eat. Okay. But it's not necessary. Okay. Because it was just being used as a covering. But it's good, you can still eat it. Okay. So dear viewers, if you can see, you can just see brine on top of the covering. Yeah. So this one now is ready. What we now need to do is to put weight first. Oh, weight. We have to put the weight because when it starts fermenting, the cabbages will tend to come out. Okay. And you don't want to come up. So you have to put a weight. This is my weight. It can go through the... Whoops! I have to do it nicely so that I don't break my bottle. Yes. So I do it like that. Then this other one, I'm going to put it on the side. Are they going to fit both of them? No, they're not fit both of them. So we are going to use one. Then I'm going to make it right down like that. Yes. Yeah, the brine is on top. So the brine needs to be on top, but not on top of the stone. That is not necessary. But you have to monitor because now the stone can grow fungus. So you have to make sure that does not happen by just monitoring. Okay. So dear viewers, what you can see here is that now the vegetables are fully submerged, including the covering. We have put a weight, so there is a lot of water on top. Yes. This water will increase on the 2nd day and the 3rd day, and that is when the lactic acid will be very, very active. Okay. And then after that, when we get to the 3rd day, we get a bit of a stability. The things don't come up again. But on the 4th day, now the water starts being reabsorbed again by the cabbage. So by the 5th day, even if there is no water on top or there is no brine on top, it will still be okay. Because it has already been absorbed by the cabbage. But still bad bacteria cannot grow because the lactic acid has already taken place.
Okay.
And so we wait for the 5th day, the 6th day, the 7th day. So if you don't like them very sour, you remove on the 7th day. They become easier to eat. But for people who are used, they can push this even to 10 days. They can even push it to 20 days.
Really?
But the more they stay, the sour they become.
Okay.
And once now the 7th day are over, this is now when we come to opening and we do inspection. And now we'll show our viewers how we do inspection.
Okay.
So now what we need to do is just to ensure there are not a lot of cabbages on the side of this particular container. Because if there are these small cabbages, and because they are not submerged, they can also bring in bad bacteria, which we don't want.
Okay.
So we want your grass to be clean without any other form of cabbage.
Okay.
So if you find any other form of cabbage, you can use it. Yeah, you can use a kitaba
or your fingers to remove them.
You can use a cloth for our other viewers. You remove the cloth or you use your fingers. And you remove any other cabbage within the grass, just to make sure that we do not have any other bacteria. And now because we are ready, we now can use the reed and you press on top. But remember, you don't cook it completely. Because if you cook it completely, there's a lot of air that will be coming from these vegetables. They are going to pressurize the grass and the grass is going to break. So you want to leave some sense of air coming out.
Okay.
And maybe 2nd day, 4th day, you open it a bit and then you close.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can decide you don't want to use this, you don't want to keep on opening and close. You then can use a tablecloth.
Okay.
So when it's like that, you just cover with a tablecloth, and then you need a bladder. This one.
A rubber band.
A rubber band.
Okay.
So this one you can just put on the rubber band like that.
Around it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that ensures that there are no insects that go inside. And the beauty of the cloth is that the air, the acid that comes out, the air that comes out, it can be able to flow out. And therefore we are not likely to have anything bursting.
Okay.
So what we are going to do, dear viewers, we are going to leave it like this, and we are going to put it in the kitchen cabinet where we can keep on checking what is happening. You just need to open it like that and you can see what's happening. And after 7 days, we are going to open it up with you and we are going to see what is the results of our fermented cabbage.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mwalimu, for this lesson and every other lesson we have had before. We are really enjoying it. Even our viewers have said how much they enjoy these topics that we have and these things that we learn every time we are having an episode. Thank you very much, new subscribers. Yes, so welcome to Diabetes Hope channel. We hope that you learn a lot from us. And thank you even for those who have been with us before. They have been of great support and we say a very big thank you. So God bless you and bye.
Subscribe.